All right, so you're welcome to this class. And in this class, I will explain the concept of virtual machine to you. So in the previous class, I discussed some of the basic keywords in the DevOps space, some of the keywords that you have to say or you hear, or some of the words that when you hear, you know the meaning, since you are still kind of new to it. And subsequently, as you move on, you begin to know more about those words, so they won't become new to you again. All right, so in this class, I will explain the concept of virtual machine, and we are going to do some practical aspects in virtual machine. All right. So when we say virtual machine, what do we mean by virtual machine? So before I explain this fully to you, let me just give you an illustration. I will still give you. We can still I will give you a full illustration, but just imagine your computer or imagine your laptop or whichever devices you're using. Imagine it as a full house. Imagine it as a duplex. Right. So let me just show it to you then. Imagine this as a duplex. Imagine this is your laptop. This is your computer. So when you look at this, when you look at what we have here, we have a duplex here. I mean, this is very beautiful, right? And I hope to have one of this one day. And I know you also will wish that for yourself, definitely. All right, so imagine this duplex now is your computer. You understand? In this duplex, there will be different rooms. So there is a room here, and there is another room here. There's a living room here. There is probably another room at the back. There are kitchens, there are toilets, you know. So all those rooms, right? They are isolated. They are isolated, and then you have your laptop as this. Now, before I go deep into it, let just explain this first, and then you see. A virtual machine is a virtual machine is a full computer running inside another computer, right? That's the virtual machine. So if you have your whole computer, that is one. This is the host computer. The laptop you are using is the host computer, and then you now have another virtual machine running inside the computer, right? It has its own operating system, either Linux, either Windows, whichever, right? It has its own operating system. It has its own CPU, right? It has its own RAM. It has its own disk as well. You understand? That has been assigned to it, right? And what assigned it to it? It was assigned through the hypervisor. You understand? So, and it runs independently from the host system. It runs differently from the computer, from your own laptop. It runs differently. So, for example, if you have been given a task to actually do something or to run something, and then you want to do it, differently. You don't want to do it in your host laptop. You don't want to do it in your host laptop. You don't want to do it in your real laptop, right? You can make use of virtual machine. Once you set up the virtual machine and you set it up, once you set it up running, you assign the CPU, you assign the RAM, the disk to it, right? Then you can actually do whatever you want to do in that virtual machine. So even if it will affect the virtual machine on the long run, it will not affect your laptop. You understand? So if you are done with it and you delete the virtual machine or you erase it at the end of the day, everything you have worked on that virtual machine will be erased, right? So it will not affect your laptop at all. You understand? It will not affect your laptop at all. So, DevOps use virtual machines like when you need full isolation, when you need full isolation from something, right? To isolate something, when I mean isolate, right, to keep something away from another thing. For example, if in this house, let me take for example, if in this house you want to do a photo shoot, in this house, you know, what will you do? You have to set up a particular room. Take for example, the photographer comes and then they will set up a particular room ready for that photo shoot. So that room has been isolated away from all other rooms. So you see that the setting of that room will be different from every other rooms. Or imagine in this house now you're having more like, is it will I say a cinema room, or let me say a gym. You have a gym in the room, for example. So that the setting of that room will be different from your bedroom, from your restroom, or from the kitchen. You understand? Because it has been isolated away from other rooms. So whatever you do in that gym, whatever you do in that other room will not affect the rest of the rooms that's inside, you know, the building, which is your laptop. So that is virtual machine. And then you use VMs to actually run different operating system. You can run Linux, you can run Windows. I mean, sorry, you can run Ubuntu, you can run CentOS, you know, different operating system. You can use it. You can use virtual machine to run um, different operating system, and then the hosting database as well. You know, DevOps use VMs when hosting data. When you want to host database, we use VMs for it, and also legacy applications. So you can see the images we have here. This is the host hardware, right? This is the host hardware. The host hardware is your laptop. You understand? Your laptop. The host operating system is the operating system in your laptop. For example, if you are using Windows, Windows is the operating system in your laptop. If you are using Linux, Linux is the operating system as well. You understand? And then we have hypervisor that will assign the isolation. This hypervisor, I will explain it later on as we move forward. This hypervisor will assign the CPU, it will assign the RAM to whichever room, right? So we have one VM, two VM1, VM2, VM3. VM1, for example, if you are doing something different in VM1, right? Whatever you are doing might be different from whatever you are doing here in VM2. So you are isolating VM1 from the VM2, and you are isolating VM2 from VM3. At the end of the day, whatever you are doing here might be different. You understand? Whatever you are doing here is different. And on the long run, it will not affect the whole of your laptop. So if you decide to like remove this VM1, for example, it will not affect the whole of the laptop. Are you with me? If it will not affect the whole of the hardware or the operating system. So that is that. So if I will give it to you, for example, now we can say the big house that I showed you the other time is your computer. You understand? So, and then we have kitchen. We are in the house. We have kitchen. We have water. We have water storage. We have the storage room. These are just more like the 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 these are just more like the CPU, the RAM, the disk, and all. You understand? So now a VM, like I said, is like a small room or a room inside this building. You know, to use it to you can use it to do whatever you want to use it, in as much as it is not affecting the whole room. At the end of the day, it will not affect the whole room because you have isolated it from the whole room, right? So that is that is it. Then the next one is we have the next one is hypervisor. When we say hypervisor is what? A software layer. Look at it. It is a software layer that creates, that runs and manages those virtual machines on a physical laptop or a physical computer. You understand? Hypervisors is like, let me give you an example. For example, in this room now, that we have different what's it called? Different rooms. Let's take for example, these are family of 4 or family of 5 living here, and we have 4 bedrooms here. We have husband and wife living together. We have the children living in different rooms, right? Now, for example, one of the children living in this room, this particular room here, now called mommy. Mommy, I need a food, or I need food, right? Mommy, I need food. At the end of the day, mommy will have to go to the kitchen, cook the food, and then go and give it to the boy in the room. You understand? Let's just make that example like that. even though it's, I mean, you have to come down, even though you have to come down and then get your food or eat your food, you understand? Well, let's take, for example, right? It is the mommy that will go to the room, you know, give the children uh, um, their food, right? It is the mom that will go to the room. Probably if the children are sleeping, they'll go to the different rooms, wake the children up. All right, it's time to eat. Okay, here is your food. It is, if the children need water, the mom will come. The mom will leave the kitchen, go to the room, give them water, right? So the mommy in this sense, it is the hypervisor. It is the hypervisor. So let me give you this example because I made another image here. Now look at this room, for example. This old building here, because we could not see the rooms in this image, so I added it here. So for example, this old building, right? The whole of this building is your laptop. The whole of this building is your laptop. So we have the sitting room, you have the bedroom, the first bedroom, the second bedroom, and the third bedroom. And each of the bedroom comes with, their own restroom, the toilet. We have it here, we have restroom here, we have restroom here as well, and then we have the kitchen here. Now, take for example, this is your laptop, right? This is the host hardware. And then we now have this as a VM. This first bedroom is a VM, second bedroom is a VM, this third bedroom is a virtual machine. So you are isolating this virtual machine, this room, from the whole of the house, so that whatever you do in this room, right? Whatever you do in this room, whatever you do in this room, nobody will see it on normal day. If you are locked up in a room, whatever you do there, nobody will see it. Even if you are doing something that is not good, all right. All right. So you see, whatever you do in this room, right? Nobody will know about it. So if you are sleeping in this room, for example, and you called your mom that, mommy, I need the food. Your mom will come to the kitchen, walk straight to the bedroom and give you your food. So the food here is more like the CPU, right? If the person here calls mommy, mommy, I need, a cup of water. Mommy will stand up, go to the kitchen, walk to the bedroom, give them the water, right? Give him or her the water. Mommy, I need what do we even think, or what can we say? Mommy, I need my bag. I can't find my bag. Mommy will carry the bag. Mommy will carry the bag, walk to the bedroom again and give him or her. So you can see we have VM1, VM2, VM3. So the hypervisor is actually, is in charge of assigning, the CPU, the RAM, the disk to different, VMs, So it is the hypervisor that will actually manage the VM on the long run. You understand? So it is the hypervisor that will manage the long run. I mean, that will manage the VM in the long run. So even if you have just one VM, for example, if this two room is not there, you understand? It is the hypervisor that will manage it. So the hypervisor in this sense is mommy. Though it's mommy that is walking up and down, giving them whatever they need. You understand? So even if they need water, if you know if the baby are fighting, you understand, the mommy will make sure that the baby are not fighting. You understand? If they want to sleep, the mommy will go to the rooms and see if they are sleeping. So the mommy in this sense is the hypervisor that is managing the rooms. Are you with me? So this is the illustration that that we have for for this VM and hypervisor. So in in okay, so on the long run, look at it, because we've not checked this out, right? A hypervisor, sorry, is a software layer that creates, run and manages virtual machine on a physical computer. And then a hypervisor allows you to what? It allows you to split one physical server into what? Many virtual. Look at it. You can split it into many virtual servers, right? It allocates resources to each server. It allocates whichever resources, for example, CPU, RAM, disk, whichever. and then it isolates VMs from each other. Look at this now. It isolates the VMs from each other, right? And then run multiple operating systems on one machine. So look at this now. We are running multiple operating systems in one of these machines, like a whole of this machine. We are running multiple operating systems. So look at this now. These rooms are the what? Different operating system, right? Different operating system, and then we are running it in a whole house, which is your laptop or your computer. You understand? So this is just the concept of virtual machine. So, and now we'll be doing the practical aspect. Please try to pay attention. What we are going to do now is you okay. So what we need to do now is we're going to we're going to install the VirtualBox, because we're using VirtualBox for it. So we're going to use VirtualBox, and then from there we'll download the operating system we want. So in this lesson we'll be using Ubuntu. What you need to do is you hold control key, and then you click this place. You click here. So clicking here, you go to Day-5 of this lesson, because we're in Day-5, and then you see the vm.md. You click, you hold the control key, and then you click it as well, because we'll be moving back to this later on. So this is more like the practical series, right? You understand? So this is you can copy this this link here, or you can click it, whichever. I prefer to copy, and then you paste it here. So it will redirect you to this page. So once it redirects you to this page, you're going to click the download button. So once you click the download button, it will redirect you to this page, to this part, right? So you can choose whichever package you are using. So if you are using Windows, you click this. If you are using macOS, you click this. If you are using Linux distribution, you click this one, or Solaris, whichever. So I'm using Windows, right? So I'll click this, and it will actually download for me. But since I've actually downloaded it before, it's on my laptop, and I will just show you the installation process. So let me just look for it here. Let me look for it in the download file. So we have VirtualBox. Look at it. So it's here, because I've downloaded it before. So there's really no need for me to download it again. So let me just try to install it. So in the installation process, let me just take you through it. It's quite simple, like very, very simple. So once you have this, you click yes. Click yes, and then you start the process. So what you just do is click next, click next, because I have it here, so it's not going to allow me to let me just what you just do, let me just tell you what you just do. Once you get here, you just click next, and then it will install automatically. Once it's installed, right, you will see virtual machine in your desktop UI. Or if you don't see it in your UI, you can go to, you will see the VirtualBox in your UI. If you don't see it in your UI, you can as well you sure you want to cancel? Okay, let me just cancel it. So if you don't see it in your UI, you can as well type it here. And just type VirtualBox, or let me just type virtual. So you're going to see it. Obviously, you see it here, and once you see it here, click on open. So it will open the VirtualBox. So this is where we are going to try to install. This is where we're going to try to set the necessary RAMs and CPU for it. So I've actually I've done something before here, so I used Alma Linux. So we're going to try and install Ubuntu. Like I said before, we're using Ubuntu in this for this section, right? So let me just cancel what I did here because it's not necessary again. So to use Ubuntu, you come back here, you scroll down to the practical tool, which is the second one. We're going to use Ubuntu. Why do we use Ubuntu, right? It is quite popular. Understand? Ubuntu is quite popular and it is lightweight, it is free, and it has strong community. People are like a whole lot of developers are using it, right? A whole lot of DevOps engineers are using it. And then what you do is just copy this link, come to the browser and just paste it here. So we're having Ubuntu. Then we'll navigate, just a step-by-step follow. You understand? You can just follow this step, one after the other. It is very, very, very easy. Very easy, right? So navigate to this place, and then you can see it says what? Choose Ubuntu Server LTS. All right. So once you get here, you click the server. Click this server, and then you go to get Ubuntu server. Right, so it will redirect you to this page. We have Ubuntu 24.04.3 LTS. So we are downloading LTS, and the reason why we're downloading LTS is because they are very, very well recommended, and it's receiving more like security updates more than 5 years. You understand? And then they are more stable for production. They are more stable for production. And then we click on download this, so it will automatically download this part, and then it will take you to this. So it is about 3.1 gig. So for the sake of time, I've downloaded it before, so join me in the next one. As you can download it from your hand. So I will not download it because I've downloaded it before, and then from there, once you are done downloading it, we'll go to the next one, which is to assign it, and then we'll start operating it. All right. So once it is done downloading, you come to the virtual machine, the virtual box, right? Oracle virtual box. You click it, and then it will show this like I've shown before. So let me just remove this one, so I don't need it anymore. All right. So from the first interaction with the virtual box, this is what you will see. From your first interaction with the virtual box, this is what you will see, a new interface. So what you will do is, the first thing you will do is, you come here, you come to new, right? You come to new, you click on new. Once you click on new, we're going to give it a name. Let's just give it the name of, let's say, DevOps server. You understand? Then it will be in this folder, that's C users HP / VirtualBox BN. And then we are going to click this image. we're going to click this part, the ISO image. So we're going to go to the directory where the ISO image was downloaded, where the Ubuntu ISO was downloaded. The one you just downloaded, you're going to click it. So if it is not here, obviously it should not be here, because you are just, this is just the first interaction. So what you do is you come here, and then you go to download, whichever place it is, whichever place it is, you will see it, it will be there. Then you can click, this is what I have here, so you click it. So once you click it, you will see it showing this, and then automatically you can see it's Linux, and then it is Ubuntu, right? So you click on next. Once you click on next, you can give this a name. Let's just give it, you give it your username and password. Just give it a username and password that you can remember easily. Let me just give it admin as the username, What's this? Okay, admin as the username. So we're going to give it password of admin123, then admin123. So this is what we give it. Then let's just click next. So the next one is we are going to set the hardware we're going to set the RAM, the virtual CPU to it. So just give it a RAM of let's say 4 gig. So it's going to be 4000 MB, and then give a CPU of, okay, let me just give it 3 CPU, right? So click next as well, and then from there you move forward to create this. You can leave this here, or you can add it, you can add to it. Depends on the space on your computer, right? Depends on the space on your computer. You can add to it, but don't let it be too much, right? And then you click on next. Once you click on next, it will show this face, and then you can click on finish, right? So once you click on finish, it will try and power up. It will try and come up, and then it will, from there you can move from there. So this is what you have to try to come up. Let's just wait for it to come up, and let's see what we have. Let me cancel this. So you wait for it to come up. So once it comes up, let me just pause the video first. Once it comes up, I'll play it back. Just hold on for it to come up, and then we'll continue from there. Let me pause it. Alright, so once you've done that, it is now completed. It has completed. It is now fully installed. But if your Ubuntu installation is different from my own, because I am currently using the minimal version, right? If your Ubuntu server installation is different from my own, right? Just follow this the installation processes that I will give you now. It is very, very easy. So what it will require you to do is just to you're going to follow the process by you will just a minute. So what we just do is you will choose the language. It will require you to choose the language, and then the accessibility in Ubuntu, right? If you want, you can click whichever that suits your your needs, right? Then you select the keyboard layout, and which is, it can be English, right? Then you connect to the internet. You can connect it to the internet, right? From there, it will move you forward to install Ubuntu. You click on next, and then when you see how would you like to install Ubuntu, right? You can just click on interactive installation, because that is beginner friendly. The automated installation is more like it's more advanced. So click on next as well. So once you click on next, right, it will show how and what app would you like to install to start with, right? So you can just click more like default selection, so it will start like that, and then it will ask to install some proprietary software, right? So click on install third-party software for graphics and the Wi-Fi hardware, right? You can click on that and then move to next. So the rest is just easy. You can click on next, and then you can install it. So from there, it will actually install Ubuntu on the system, and Also, to create your account as well, before I forget, to create your account, you are going to add your name, and then your computer name, whichever name you want, the username, and then the password of your name. Just make sure you use easy password for it. So once you have done that, it will automatically install for you, and then you can restart. Once you restart it, then to bring it up, then you can have your interface for the server. So in the interface, you will have the terminal, the other needed things. Then to get into it, you put your username and then your password to it, which is quite easy. So that is that. But the major reason why we have to do this is because to show you how it is being done. So from there, we are just going to do some practical aspects of it. So at the end of the day, you just need Ubuntu to be in your in your computer. So this is what we have presently now. So you can just go to you can go to your server. I mean, you can go to your terminal, and then from there you move forward. All right. All right. So let's just start something practical here. So the first thing we're going to do is, we're going to type the who am I command. The who am I command. So the who am I will actually show us, the server and the username is actually operating, right? It helps us to actually confirm the user that is operating, right? So who am I? You can see Ubuntu user. So presently we are using Ubuntu for it. So next thing, let's just use the host name. You can type this command, host name. So the host name as well, the host name will actually display the name of the system server, or the system of the server. So to bring out, it might bring out DevOps server, or it will bring out Ubuntu server. But in this case, that we're having Ubuntu server, and then we have pwd. So type this pwd directory. This pwd directory actually, it is the command to actually ask where our current directory is. So we are in home/Ubuntu server presently. So the ls command, as you can see here, is list, to list something. So it will actually list, if we have some list of files or documents you need to see, right, it will list it out for you. So in this sense, right, let's just move forward to the next one. Okay, before that, you can type this to be sure of the version we have. So you can type lsb underscore release -a. So you can see we have Jammy. This is the version I'm currently using, and it will help. So for the exercise, right? For the exercise, you can quickly run this command, log in to the terminal, and then you try each of these commands: the who I am, the who am I, the host name, the pwd, the ls, the uname -a, right? And then you can check the OS version, that's the operating system version. You can check it with the lsb underscore release -a. All right, so after that, then we'll now move to the next one. The next one will be more practical. So let's clear it. This is the clear command. You clear it. So the next one now is we're going to let's check the IP. Guys, let's check our IP presently. So to check the IP, you have IP-A. So it's going to show us some of the IP we have here. Sorry, I made a mistake. IP-A. So to show some of the IP, you can see this is one. Oh, and then This is the second one here. All right, so let's just move to the next one. So what we're going to do next is we are going to okay, let me exit. One, two, three. Just a minute. Oh, that was a mistake. It's incorrect. Okay, let me go again. The username is admin, and then the password is admin103. All right. So presently now, what we're going to do now is we're going to use the remote laptop terminal. Like for example, the terminal we have downloaded before. So since this terminal is quite small, we can't see it properly. So what we'll do is, we'll SSH to it, and then we'll let the remote, we'll let we are going to control the Ubuntu server remotely, so that you can see it properly, and then you can do some hands-on projects on it. So the next thing is, before I do that, right, I will install the OpenSSH server. So let me just do apps updates. Let me update it. So it's asking for password admin123. So don't worry, some of these commands we are still going to treat them in the next class, right? Don't trust me, we're going to treat them pretty well, very, very well. So I just try to get what I'm typing or what I'm doing, so that you understand it properly. So if it's a command that is a problem, don't worry, we're going to treat it. So let's try to install you know what, let me just sudo into it. Let me just go inside the root admin. All right, so let me apt install open SSH, then the server, and why. So this will actually download the open SSH so that I can be able to use a remote terminal and access the Ubuntu server remotely. All right, so it is downloaded successfully. Let's check if it's running. System ctl status ssh. So you can see is active running. So what I downloaded now is active and is running on the laptop. So what we're going to do now is we're going to type IPA. So this IPA will actually show the IP address of the computer presently, and then what we'll do is we're going to connect the external terminal to it. So let's take, for example, I want to use external terminal, one external terminal. Let me just use this. Okay, I think I have git bash. Let me use bash. Let me use this. For example, I want to use this, right? So what I will do is I will SSH, right? I will SSH, then I will use the username, my username SSH admin, then then the server IP address, which we're going to find here, So we have 127.0.0.1, right? So this is what we have presently, 127.0.0.1. Yeah. So we have 127.0.0.1. All right. So we have 127.0.0.1. So it should actually, oh, just a minute. Let me go again. Underscore IP. Let me see the problem we have here, because it should go. Let's just clear it. So let me try again. Since where is it? Let's just do this host name. This is quite simple. So we have 10.2.10.0.2.15. All right. All right. Okay. Sorry, I know the mistake we did, and this is actually good that we are making mistakes now, because from your hand, if you make mistakes as well, you will know how to how to go about it. So from the start, let's turn this off first. Let's turn this off. Let's turn this off first. No, let me shut it down instead. All right. So what I'll do is I will just go to I will change it. I was supposed to go to the settings, then change the adapter. That was what I was supposed to do then, but I think I forgot. Totally skipped my mind. Apologies for that. So what we'll do now is you go to the VirtualBox network, and then in the Ubuntu VM, right? Select settings and then go to network. So go to network, go to this, and then in the adapter one, yeah, we're going to change it to bridged adapter. Not, it won't be here. You change it to bridged adapter. Then once you change to bridged adapter, you click OK, right? So you can start the Ubuntu again and then move from there. You can start the server again and then move from there, which this time it will work. All right. So let's just wait for it to start. Okay, let me come back once it is up. I'll come back. I'll play the video back. Okay, so it is ready, and I have SSH to it. What I did was I I it asked for the login username, which is admin, and then the password. So presently this is where I am. So let me check the status, right, of the open SSH that we downloaded the other time. So system, no, it should be sudo system ctl status ssh admin 123. It's asking for the password. Okay, so it is now on. Let's check the IP address again. So it should give us another IP address. All right. Just a minute, let me see. I think I have to try and debug this. I have to try and get the solution so that I will not be facing for that issue. Okay. So let's see what we have again. Let's try it if it will go. This is the same IP address we are given. It refused again, right? 1270018. 1270088. So it refused. All right. So just so what I did was in the settings, we were supposed to do it in the configuration settings before we actually installed the input tool. We come to network and then you change the adapter here. You change this adapter 1 to bridge adapter and then you press OK. So once you have that, you come here, you log in, you use your login details. As in this case, I used admin, then admin 123. Then from here, you press this command host name -i, host name as -i. So let's just try it again. So definitely should work. So what we're going to do is SSH admin / we have 10.24.191.93. So here we have 10.24.191.93. All right. So in this case, yeah, it's went through. So here we press yes. So it's going to ask for the admin password again. In this case, I use admin 123 and it will go. And others we have here. So instead of using this interface that is quite small or little, we can use this interface that we all can see properly very well. So in this case, we have actually created an isolated VM. We have created an isolated server through the virtual machine. So whatever we want to do, we can do it, and then it will not affect the main system. It will not affect the main laptop, the main computer. I don't know why laptop is always coming to my mouth. All right. So what we're going to do now is we'll just try to install some real service, right? This is just a mini project, and the project in the project, right, it will host a web server on a virtual machine instead of real server. It will host a web server on the virtual machine, not the web server here. So, and this is more like a real world, DevOps scenario, what DevOps do, and from here you can learn to install and check access of service, right? So what we're going to do first is we're going to update the server. We're going to update the server. So to update the server, we use sudo apt update, right? So, and the reason why is we are yet to actually go deep down we are yet to use the admin privileges, because in your terminal, right, you can log in as an admin or you can log in as a normal person, right? So to log in as an admin, this is the command sudo -i. So this is the command. Then it will ask for your password, admin 123. In this case, that's my password. And then we are now in the root. We are now in the roots at DevOps server. So initially we were in those admin. You understand? So now we're in the roots. But if you be working in a tech company, all right? If you're working in a tech company, you majorly will use this admin at DevOps server. Like you majorly be working with the interface. You'll not be having some root privileges, except if you are the owner of this the will I say company or something, right? And which is quite easy, you understand? But if it is in your own laptop, you can actually use it to do some hands-on project, and you can move on from there. So instead of typing sudo at update, I can just type at update, right? Because I already sudo into it, I already log in into the admin part. So I can just tap at apt update, and then it updates. And from there, I can install Nginx, right? I can install Nginx. Let's just wait for it to go. All right, it is in already. So the next one we're going to do is just, we're going to install Nginx. So the thing is, just follow this step by step. I know you don't understand properly. But trust me, in the next class, I will explain all these tools, what Nginx means, what it does, most some of these services that we use. I'm going to explain them. So we're just trying to like do some little projects, because now you are now deep into DevOps. You're not diving deep into DevOps, so you have to get acquainted with whatever we're doing now. So the next thing is I will install Nginx apt install Nginx. Why? If you don't know it, you can always browse it though. You can always browse it. You can say how to install Nginx in terminal or something, because one of the easiest way to actually do is just, one of the easiest way to survive this is will I say, to always research, right? When you make researches, well, I've known this for quite a while now, so it is easy for me to actually type. So you can see what we did initially was sudo apt update. I already sudo to it, then I just type this command apt update, then it update it, and then I type sudo nginx install. So we're going to install it. Why? The reason why we're putting -y is because this -y is yes. This -y is yes, because if we remove this -y, it will ask us should it proceed. You understand? Should it proceed? And we'll still type yes, right? But because we don't want to type yes, okay, let's just write. Because we don't want to type yes, we can include -y. But let's just type it, right? So look at it now. Do you want to continue? You still have to type y, So because we don't want to type y, we can just put -y, and then everything will just download automatically. Let's just wait for it to download completely. Alright, so it's downloading. And what is doing presently is it is installing will I say Nginx. Nginx is a popular web server, right? A very popular web server that most people use. And after this, Nginx will be installed as a service, and then we can check the service of Nginx. We can check it through systemctl status, Nginx. So I think it is installing presently, and you can see now it is now downloading. let me just exit. Let me exit from the root. Let me exit from the root, and then I will go to the normal um, interface that will use that because it's quite important. So if we are going to check it, anything we are going to check that has any root privileges, we'll use sudo to it. Or once, if we want to just go straight without using sudo, right, you can use sudo-i, then you go to the admin privilege. You'll be having admin privileges, so you'll not be typing sudo in whatever you're typing, right? So we have sudo system systemctl status and nginx. It should have for, okay, you can see now it's active and running. It is active and running. So, and if you want to check properly, right? All right. So, like I was saying, what this does, is, this service is more like a program that runs in the background of, to perform a task. This run in the background to perform a task, and then Nginx as a service, Nginx runs as a service, and then the web server page continuously. It runs as a service, and it serves the web page. It serves them continuously. And then we have systemd, right? This systemctl I type, right, is part of the systemd. That is the system manager, in Linux. That's the system manager in Linux, and it can start, it stops, it can manage services in the system as well. So what we're going to do now is just that. Since Nginx is now up and running, let me clear it, which is quite easy. Just go to clear. So what I'm going to do now is let's check the IP again. So we can check this. Is it? Okay, this is it. So from the browser, let's see if it's up. You can see welcome to Nginx. You can see welcome to Nginx here, and then it is up and running, right? So we can be able to do whatever we want to do on the browser. We can be able to do whatever we want to do on virtual machine without affecting the main system, the system as a whole. So what we want to do now is we can actually modify the website. For example, now this is a website. We can modify this website to whatever we want to, whatever we want to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually navigate to the web root. These websites have a root where it is getting this information from. For example, let's see what we have. So let's just cd to it. So to go to the root, we have cd /var, then www.html, and then you go. Right. So this is what we have now presently. We're now in the root of the web. So we can actually open the index.html because this is where it is. Let's see. So look at it now. index.nginx/debian.html. So let's just try and open it and see what we have. And let's see. Just a minute. Sudo. We are using nano editor. We're going to use nano editor now. Just a minute. Let me copy this. It should download. It should actually go now. All right, so look at what we have here. You see that what we have here, you see welcome to Nginx. If you see this page, the Nginx web server is successfully installed and working. And what we have here as well is, look at it, welcome to Nginx. If you see this page, the Nginx web server is successfully installed and working. Further configuration is required. Online documentation and blah blah blah. So you can see it here. So let's take, for example, we just want to make some modifications to it, right? You don't want to make some modifications to it, you can come to this part. This part, for example, let's say this part, instead of welcome to Nginx, you can write my first VM server. My first VM server, right? And then under this, you will use under this, you can delete this part, and you just want to modify it so that we see that it's running properly, you know, and just write running. Oh, that was a mistake. Running on virtual machine. So that's what we have here. And then to exit, right, you can say Control 0 and click enter, right? All right, so we can just exit. To exit, you can just say Control X. So that's to exit now. So let's see what we have here. So let's just say okay, let's go back to this place and refresh it. You see that it will change it. You see that's changed it. We have my first VM server running on virtual machine. So it is now, you know, it is now working properly. So what we have been able to do is we have been able to edit a web let's say a web server, right? We'll be able to edit the web using this virtual machine, so it will not affect the computer as a whole, right? So that was what I was trying to explain the other time. And then we can also try to like monitor. You can use it to do several things, right? Like, you know, to monitor resources. For example, if you want to monitor resources, right? Let's go back just a minute. Let me go back. ls. So I've gone back to this part, and then now to monitor the resources we have top. Look at this now. So what it does is it shows the real-time, you know, CPU usage, the CPU usage of this virtual machine, of this server. It shows the CPU usage, and then the all right. So look at it. Look at the CPU usage. We have 0.3, right? It shows it, you know, consistently. And then the RES here is we call it the resident memory. That's the RAM. You know, that's the RAM that is used by, you know, by the process. You understand? It is used by process. And then the command here, the command is the running process name. The running process name is gives to it, right? So that's just the command. And then for us to just check the memory usage of this, right? Let's just check the memory usage of it. So to check the memory usage of how this server is consuming memory, can just say free-h. Look at this now. So presently we have used 200 MB, and then, you know, still have 2.9 gig and all, right? This is not your network usage, right? But this is just the memory usage of the server. All right. So also to actually check the disk usage, we're going to type this command as df-h, check the disk usage, and then what you have is this H, right? The H stands for, it stands for human readable. That's what it stands for. The H here, it stands for human readable. And then we move forward, as you can see, 30 gig, 3.3, and G, 25 G, and so we have the size. This is the total size of a disk, like the disk size, and then the space we have used already, right? And then we have the free space that is left. This is free space that is left, and then it is mounted on which means the folder where the disk is being accessed, the folder where the disk is accessible to, right? So this is it. And we can move you can do so many things using VM. You can do so many things using VM. So which this will actually help if you're working on any project, whichever project you'll be working on, any project you want to work on. If you don't want to use the main computer or the host computer, you understand, you can download the VM and then use it there to do whatever project you want to do, and it will not affect the host computer. So that is just the major reason for using VM, which is really helpful. So that brings us to the end of this section. So if you enjoyed this section, please kindly subscribe to this channel, which is very helpful because it will help us grow. And if you feel there are some things I've explained that you don't understand, write it straight up in the comment section. Trust me, I will reply you immediately. And then if you feel there are ways that there are some things that I should talk about that I've not talked about it, you can just point me to the direction. You will get instant feedback. All right, thank you so much. We'll move to the next one. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.